Hey guys, welcome to Grim After Dark. My name is John. We are the Frontline Gaming Network's weekly interview show where we hit the high points of the last week in the Warhammer community, talk to the best players and content creators from around the world about the one thing we all love, Warhammer. This week we welcome TayLore back to the show as we asked him simply, can he surmise the entire Horus Heresy series in 45 minutes? An easy task, no doubt, but it'll be easy to follow, informative, and there will be very little to no screaming whatsoever throughout this entire president. So I'm excited for that. You guys should be too. My co-host today needs some introduction. He's part of a giant international scheme by the 40K Illuminati to not let him play in any army other than AdMag. Is Danny McDivett. Danny, how are you doing?
John, I'm doing a hearty medium.
A hearty medium?
A hearty medium, yeah.
Well, good news. Black Templars are up for pre-order with their limited edition box, seen here, of course. This beautiful pre-order that we have for Black Templars. Wonderful. And then we'll pick up. I'm going to take that down real quick before we violate some terms of service.
Oh, man. You know what? Like, I was gonna harangue you for saying that the Black Templars book was good before we started, ask you where your morals were, and then call you a giant shill. But you know what? I'll just settle with, man, we're just starting off strong with these dildo jokes today.
I did not make the joke at all. I just threw someone else even threw up the picture, so I can take no credit. Danny, you've had some time to look over the new supplement. We do see some of the new vows here for the new Black Templar book. Of course, we have Thought Patrol, Furry Abomination, some White Knighting, Vow of Celibacy. Danny, where is your favorite vow? What is actually the passion to that vow?
Oh, okay. So the vow of celibacy, the passion for that is involuntary.
That's fair.
Yeah, it's that one. It's pretty self-explanatory. As long as your models have head coverings, i.e., fedoras, they get +1 to hit in combat. The disadvantage, of course, is that you have to model your army with fedoras. So
that's fair.
Oh yeah, and the celibacy. Don't forget the celibacy.
Of course, Furry Abomination being the awful one. Where not only your passion there is that you're not allowed into polite society ever again. Is the only thing worse than a Black Templar. Danny, but the supplement looks pretty good. We did talk about it earlier on something else completely different, but it just seems to be already doing what Marines do, but better, I think, is the general consensus coming back.
Yeah, I think it's one of the better Marine supplements. It's probably pretty middle of the pack, I would say. It's still good, like nothing wrong with it. It's still Marines, but I don't think it's going to tear up the world. I don't know that it's as good as like Dark Angels or White Scars or Death Watch. Probably not even Iron Hands. I would say Iron Hands is probably better, but that's like I would say that's like a medium, like that puts it firmly in the middle. I think it's better than Blood Angels and Space Wolves.
I like how you say it's firmly in the middle, but it's not better than, and then you list every other Marine supplement apart from 2.
Yeah. So the other ones, John. Oh, here, no, I'll just let you know. We'll be very thorough. So I think it's probably better than Salamanders. I think it's better than Imperial Fists. Yeah. Do I have to keep going? I mean, because I can keep going
absolutely
if you want.
Right. I mean, you could. It ruins my joke completely, but that's one of the reasons you're here for this.
That's one of the reasons why I do the things that I do, John, is to ruin your jokes.
That's fair. If you can even call them jokes, that's the hard part there.
That's fair.
I try so medium sometimes, and it never really ends up working out.
Now you know this. Now you know my secret, John. Always try medium.
So, Danny, another thing, Warhammer actually leaked into another Reddit community. We're seeing kind of as GW gains popularity and as the license is given to like any company showing a bit of knee on the corner of Hollywood Boulevard. I saw this post here on the Titanfall subreddit which is just kind of like the simple joke where it says "my current main" and then a picture of a giant titan. My favorite part would be the top comment here that says, "Is this Warhammer? The only thing I know about Warhammer is something about Hulk Hogan fighting the devil in a cathedral in space or something." I thought this was like a very appropriate comment for a TayLore episode.
Yeah.
But it's a very unique description of what Warhammer is. What would you tell this person, Danny, if they came up to you and they were like, "Hey, Warhammer, that's just Hulk Hogan fighting the devil in a cathedral in space"?
There's a lot of Hulk Hogans, and that's what you need to understand, because they're always yelling "brother." So, like,
They are, God, that's so bad. The final Primaris implant is the removal of the top part of the hair.
It's that tasteful bald spot. That's why so many Marines shave their heads.
Yeah, and the rip away carapace armor. Like the black
Oh,
chest.
perfect.
Yeah, perfect.
The black carapace, fully optional.
But preferred by many. AdMech are coming out of the weekend with an unheard of 77% win rate. I think we've come across this defining picture of Warhammer in 2021. Danny, how aft is the game right now?
Medium.
Medium
No,
F?
it's like, it's not the worst. Like, there's just some offenders, and they need to be brought down. That's a pretty crazy win rate, I would say. I'd like to see context on that and how they actually finished. I still feel like Drukhari is worse than AdMech, but I'm probably biased.
We're kind of coming out of the weekend where the facts that were coming out was for like GT major level events. The winner was AdMech, Drukhari, or nothing.
Oh, okay. I don't know. Honestly, I didn't really pay attention to what the scores were this weekend. I was too crazy busy. So So what was it, like BFS and Michigan GT, and those are both won by Dark Eldar, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And I said a few of those with AdMech, and I think we're kind of coming to like a crux of an edition where so a lot of people just aren't having fun.
I'm just surprised we didn't see any orcs win, to be honest with you. I think that list is really, really good.
But is it
list is
quite as good when it comes up against, say, so many flyers or so many blocking things? Perfect.
Yeah.
So I think the thing to really take away from this here is just be better, orc players. Why are we complaining about only 2 different factions winning GT level events when we could be complaining about 3 different factions?
Yeah, get good, losers.
Get good, orc players. Jeez. And speaking of that, moving on to our final joke, an old favorite. Are we looking for more Frontline Gaming majors? The New Orleans Open is coming and tickets are selling fast. New Orleans promises to be a huge event. So big, in fact, that every host from Signals from the Frontline is going to be in attendance and available for you to beat. Seth here shown creating his army list for his next event is going to be here. And as always, Grim After Dark offers you, the FLGN listener, that guarantee that if you beat Seth and humble him appropriately, we will email you an unfilled out certificate of completion or certificate of appreciation, for humbling Seth. And you just need to let us know. You can let us know at GrimdarkFLGN on Twitter. That is where you can see all the pictures that we used to make fun of things this week. That is where you can let us know that you humbled Seth, and also let us know what you thought of this week's Signals of the Frontline, which weekly is a great show despite Seth. Danny, why don't you take it away and introduce our guest for this week?
Okay. Well, we've had him on once or twice before, unfortunately. And now he's coming to us live from some kind of a construction zone. So we're happy to have him. As always, we have TayLore joining us tonight.
Yeah, my bad. Just really just all around. Construction happens. I'm here. That's not good. Really.
Yeah.
I don't know what else to say there, honestly.
Great.
Sorry for ruining it, everybody. My bad.
Oh, no. I started ruining that like 12 minutes ago when we started.
Yeah,
it's fine. You're way behind the curve on that.
Oh, well. Just wait. I'll be explicit. I'll try to not be I don't even know what I'm saying anymore, man. I'm here. We're doing
So
it.
we have you on to very. The idea is you and Tanner, of course, the aforementioned lore bros,
Right.
are going to be taking us through Siege of Terra, which is the latest Black Library series, kind of covering the events of the Horus Heresy from their arrival in Uranus to the kind of the death of the Emperor. Spoilers at the end of the siege. So we were like, what a better person to have on and tell us about all 50 plus books in the Horus Heresy series in less than an hour than TayLore.
Oh man. Yeah, it's me. My significantly sexier half is not here today. I'm sorry. You're stuck with me. But yeah. Also, I'm pretty sure we're up to 69 or 70 books. Nice.
Nice.
For the Heresy currently.
Hey, wait, Taylor.
What's
When
up?
you say your sexy other half, you're talking about Tanner, not your actual wife, right?
Really, my
Okay,
wife is
cool.
gone.
Okay, just checking.
Tanner is I think he's the heart and soul of whatever we do here.
From that one time you guys did it together.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
Yes,
fantastic!
correct. So yeah, I'll try.
Heck yeah.
I'll do it real big.
So
Hey, that's what we do every week. So you're
Correct.
you got to do it big.
You're on the team. So
Cringe.
let's just go like alphabetically by release. Alphabetically doesn't make sense. That's a word.
No, I want to go alphabetically by release. I think that's the way to go.
I feel like this sucks.
I have so much more math to do in my head now. It's crazy.
Okay.
But yeah, the Horus Heresy was kind of like the big breakout series from Black Library that really kind of like legitimized GW and a lot of the eyes on what they're doing. Dan Abnett came in and kind of wrote the first book, and he was like a super big famous sci-fi writer coming in and doing this, and he came in with Horus Rising as a way to kick it off. Sort of very briefly, obviously. Tell us about Horus Rising.
So I'm not gonna lie, the first 3 books are so amalgamated in my brain. I actually have no idea where one begins and the others end. So to start off, Loken was there when the Emperor died. Lamau got him. Haha XD. Here's a 3-chapter joke, essentially. Good, we did it. The Emperor died, we got him, but it was a different one. So, it's fine. What else? Loken gets inducted into the Mournival. They have like a moon thing going on, which makes sense because, the Mournival, that sounds kind of like moon. I assume that's why. I don't actually know. The Luna Wolves are not yet. Yeah, exactly. The Luna Wolves are not yet the Sons of Horus. That's the bad version of them. They're not yet that. So he does the moon pool thing, and Abaddon, little Horus, and acts him into like, cool, do the secret handshake. You're our best friend now. What else? Okay.
I'm
So
glad
I
I
hit
high
idea.
points.
I like the idea that the Mournival is just like a group of 6-year-olds at preschool who've decided to be best friends for life. Like,
Yeah,
that's
so-
kind of my takeaway from this.
I mean,
They have the secret handshake. They all trade Pokemon cards. They all burn bugs with the magnifying glass. They do it all. It's fine.
they all trade Pogs. That's what they trade. between
Ah,
the brothers.
Progressive Rock Champ. That's what they
Yeah,
say.
exactly.
Yeah.
Pog. In
They
that
didn't
sense,
find the
yeah.
STC for Pokemon cards, just the STC for Pogs. That's
Yep.
how
Okay.
it happens there.
I heard Abaddon say Pog. I heard it myself. I was there.
I was
On
there
the
the
day
day
Abaddon
Abaddon.
said Pog.
Yeah.
So that's our initial trilogy here. It comes
Cool.
together.
We did it.
We have our best friend group together.
That's it.
That's the whole thing.
Our best friend group comes together. Abaddon is like Pog, and then Istvan dies.
Well, so Horus gets corrupted first, and he's like, he gets stabbed by a small man with a poisonous thingerjinger, and there's a whole scene about it, and who cares, whatever.
Thingajinger, by the way, is not a metaphor for penis. I just want to put that out there.
No,
It was literally a knife.
That's the anathema. Anathena. Anyway,
Yeah, no,
so he gets-
that's the correct pronunciation.
Right.
You're,
So
he
you're
gets
killing
one-
it, dude.
One benefit of mob rules is that afterwards we can go and title the episodes afterwards, and I would absolutely call this one Anathema.
There you
That's
go.
like a peak title right there.
So the big frog man Anathema is Horus, and Abaddon is like, oh no, this is sub Pog. what do we do? And then Erebus, I believe, God is
Sure.
like, well, yeah, we got to take him to Davenport. I don't know if that's a Star Wars place, but Davenport. And the Davenport people were like, yeah, we got that magic stuff. We do magic here. We're going to take you to the Brotherhood of the Snake. And we're going to...
I do love the part like where like Horus has been stabbed by a knife. Oh no, what should we do? Let's take him to a magical cave in a different planet.
Yes.
Brother, the Medicaid is right here. No, magical
it's
cave.
not working. It's not working. They got his body and they're rushing through the hallways, and some guy gets in their way and they just step on him. It's fine. So they take him to the Davenport and they're like, yeah, we're going to heal the man. We're going to give him the big vision. He's going to not fall to chaos, we promise. And like, what does that even mean? I don't know what a chaos is. And they're like, shut up and put him in the big cave. And so they put him in the big cave, and then the big four big demons in the sky are like, you know what sucks? Taxes. You should betray the Emperor. And he's like, whoa, yeah, taxes do suck.
Threw the T out of the battle cruisers.
So what I'm saying here, theft. Yeah, what I'm saying here is the first 3 books are Horus's journey to becoming a libertarian. That's the whole thing.
So then it moves on. Like, and obviously we're gonna skip some of the less important ones here, like anything involving a Dark Angel. But after this, it moves on to
We're gonna talk about Damnation of Pythos.
Flight of the Eisenstein comes. So if like, if the first trilogy is like Horus becoming a libertarian, what would Flight of the Eisenstein be?
That's I can't say that on live TV.
What about live YouTube? Maybe Twitch or Facebook.
So. I think that's probably worse. I don't know, man.
If you could type it,
I could type it. Yeah. The Flight of the Eisenstein is one man. Yeah, I can't say that. It's his one man and his merry band of friends, and they're like, oh, man, taxes are good. Actually, we should not betray the Emperor. And also, wow, this fun sucks. Holy, and so they run away from that.
We have a gangster's pair of dice in chat letting us know that Flight of the Eisenstein is Rush Hour 2. Not Rush Hour 1, but Rush Hour 2.
Is Jackie Chan in that one?
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know what movies. I don't know what movies are.
He's the Rush part, and then the other guy's
the hour is the length of the movie.
Yeah.
Cool. The lore is making sense now. I'm absorbing knowledge. Okay, so basically it's like, man, this heresy stuff is cringe. Oh God, it's not just the 4. It's all of them. It's all 9. Oh God. And so a Death Guard and his other Death Guards, they leave. They simply leave. And they tell Dorn, and Dorn is like, oh, boy, what did you just say to me? And then he just beats him up for a little bit, and he's like, no, I promise it's true. And he's like, I'll believe you this time. And then I guess the heresy is confirmed. I think there's a bug monster in that one. I'm not really sure.
Grogor.
Yeah. I read that one like 4 years ago. I barely even know where I am. So
quality. So after this, we have Heresy happens to Istvan, and Danny, jump me in if I'm going.
They go to the moon.
No, you're good. Yeah, Heresy happens. Istvan,
fled to them.
Both of them.
All of them, all 17 of them, and then they go tell people, "Hey, there's a heresy happening now," and the guy's like, "Oh, Horus." And then after that, we move on to Fulgrim, where one of the Primarchs gets like a Chucky-like doll toy from Child's Play.
So Fulgrim, the book, is it's basically, I don't know, like 4 hours of nothing at all, and then 5 minutes of existential orgy level violence. And I guess some Terminators die. I don't know. The note of the Magnavilia is there. That happened. It's basically just the Emperor's Children downfall, and it's not really like a fall. It's not like there's no slope here. It's just like they get to the edge and they just hurl themselves off the cliff into the chaos.
And I know like this is probably going to take away from some of the later books. Could you use your skills? Please describe the fall as it happens in the theater there.
Go.
Just like
All
the
right.
Black Templars, as you can see.
Yeah.
Right.
Sure,
What happens? We find a sword. Okay, we're on this snake planet, and there's like a bunch of floating islands. We find the sword, and the sword is like, man, it'd be really cool if you just like betrayed all your values, did a bunch of evil or whatever. And they're like, whoa, I don't know what you're saying to me, sword, but it sounds good. I like the cadence of the voice.
This is
Coming
so
from a
appealing
sword,
to
so
me
it must
right
be
now.
true.
This is so cool. And then I don't know, they take a bunch of drugs. We cut off Island's face and his head, both of them at the same time. And then Fabius is like, I'll fix you up, but you're a stupid nerd. And so he does that. He puts his head back on, and then he's like, you can do a big scream now. I've written the part where the scream is originated from. Have it. And then, all right, so after Eidolon dies and then comes back to life because Fulgrim is being a petulant little baby, does that happen there? No, that's later, I'm pretty sure.
No, it doesn't matter. Keep going. It's gold.
So,
Are we talking
got it.
about
So,
the poop painting?
not yet. I was getting to that.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
So, in between all of that, there's a bunch of artist stuff, and who cares? They're writing songs, they're writing books, they're doing terrible poetry, they're taking pictures, whatever artists do, nerd garbage. One man decides to make a statue of the Emperor in his suite alone for a year. I love that guy. And then Fulgrim is like, actually,
marble statue.
Actually, guys, we've reached the cliff. It's time to just hurl into the abyss now. And so the poop painting, as mentioned earlier, it's not just that. It's all the fluids that your body can produce, and they just jammed it into a bucket and they put on the thing.
No, the chick killed a guy, right? She killed that other artist. She lured him into a room, slashed his throat, put him in a pot.
Right.
And then I think she must have been adding like her own waste to it. Yeah.
Right.
So
it's not I think it's
painting out of that human soup.
Right. It's not just him. There's a bunch of other people that she threw into the big human soup.
Yeah.
And then it's a picture of Fulgrim, I believe, which comes up later in an extremely confusing short story that I just simply will not mention. And then Fulgrim, he is like, my favorite part of the book is the guy with the Emperor statue. He comes out of his room. He's like, God, it's a masterpiece. This is the sickest thing I've ever done in my life. And Fulgrim is like, that's a statue of the Emperor. Did you know that we're traitors now? And he could just kind of like gently picks him up and slowly places him like torso first onto the statue. And I just think that's hilarious. He takes his time. He's like, you put little baby, go up on the sword, and then he dies. He dies.
Imagine you spend like 8 months just perfecting your skills as a sculptor to make this beautiful statue out of this solid piece of endangered marble. And I was like, hey guys, we're traitors now. We hate the Emperor. And you're like,
what do I do with this?
Well,
you die.
Like you've been in your room, like you're not doing anything to anyone else. You have no idea what's happening around you. You open the door and like it's just full on chaos in the ship, right? Like
people are skinning each other, they're singing weird songs, they're doing a bunch of drugs, chaos stuff. And then the Merigum de Vildlia happens, and the Emperor's children reroll their wounds. I don't know. Honestly, that book is a fever dream. I barely remember it.
Hey, talk about other stuff you barely remember. The next one of note is sticking out here. Thousand Sons.
Thousand Sons.
Thousand Sons is a pretty popular book.
Listen, the only thing you need to know about Thousand Sons is Murder Make and Wet Leopard Growl. That's it. That's the whole book.
Hey, Danny, could you translate what the hell that means?
So, and I don't know exactly what the veracity of this, but apparently big cats like tigers can growl at an infrasonic level that terrifies people. And so I think Dan Abnett was trying to capture that in his writing, that the Space Wolves were like growling at people, and it was making them scared.
He shouldn't have said it 37 times.
It was way over. It was way overused. I did like the leather hats that the Space Wolves wore.
Yeah, the horrible masks. Those are pretty cool.
So I just now have images of the Space Wolves landing on Prospero and Gim masks, like some kind of extras from that horrible Cats movie. Just like, you're scared. I'm like, yeah, I'm scared. Look at you.
Yeah, so just get a PDF of that book and just Control F wet leopard growl. It's kind of a nightmare. It's horrible. I actually thought the book was pretty interesting outside of that, but I frankly don't even remember what happened because it's completely overshadowed. All my brain space for that book is taken up by Murder Make and Wet Leopard Growl. That's it. Also, Smiling Axe. I don't know. I don't know. Murder? I'm not really sure. But yeah, the Space Wolves do the big kill in the Thousand Suns. They deserved it. They were wrong.
The follow up to that book was better. I felt like from the Thousand Suns perspective.
Yes, agree.
That one is Prospero Burns, right?
True.
Yeah.
I do like that book more. All I really remember from it is one of the magic boys. He's doing a magic on his gun, and he's using it to clean it at a molecular level. And Armin is like, "Why? Why? Come on, man! You're making us look real bad.
Just clean it, bro.
Just like the tools are right there. You're making us look like real weirdos here. Like you're not helping us at all."
I think that's the motto for the entire Thousand Suns Legion is, guys, you're not helping.
Yeah, you're really not making us look good here. I hate Thousand Suns.
Peter mentions to us, we have Peter the Falcon in the chat, unfortunately.
Oh my god.
And he says we have them reversed. Prospero Burns is the wolf one. The Thousand Suns is the one about the Thousand Suns.
That's fair. I'm
pretty sure he's wrong based on no facts or information.
I will not show.
I
will not show any remorse or retract any of my statements. So,
Prospero Burns is the one where there's the there's the embedded agent that has
right.
So he's like he's a spy.
And then a bunch
Magnus.
And then some
Does he have
stuff
the
happens.
Space Wolf leather gimp mask too, or
they offer him one and he wears it for a little bit, but he doesn't wear it the whole time.
I think those are supposed to be like a physical manifestation of them considering themselves like the Emperor's headsman. Like it's like an execution.
I think so.
Kind of. I don't know.
I believe so. They're wrong when they say that, but they're allowed to think that.
I mean, they can try. I'm glad
they're allowed.
I feel the Emperor would have told them to stop. Be like, guys, look, we're doing this to honor you. I'm like, guys, take off the gimp mask. This does nothing for me.
No, the Emperor only makes you stop doing something when you slow down the crusade. If you're not slowing down the crusade, you can do any weird thing you want. Like, you can skin people. You can hurl them off buildings for fun and then jump down and catch them. You can do a bunch of weird stuff.
He's a real Bezos. He has like productivity goals for each of his legions kind of going through there.
Mm-hmm.
The next notable one that sticks out here, and Taylor, for someone who's worried about time, we're technically on book 19 at this point.
Oh my god.
So like if we just skip through like a whole bunch of unimportant ones here.
That was a lot of Dark Angels books. Glad we skipped over Nemesis too, because
it's let's go back to Nemesis. It's the worst book by far.
Oh god. Yeah, you have to skip. So you have to skip anything that has Dark Angels in it. Objectively,
agree to disagree, but okay.
You cannot read the first Dark Angel book, like Descent to the Fallen or whatever, is like one of the worst books I've ever read. There's the part in that book where 2 7-year-olds stand outside perfectly still. They don't move one time in below freezing degree weather outside with no clothes on, no shoes, no jackets, and they stand there completely still for 20 hours. Please. 7-year-olds are not this powerful.
Yet you didn't do that? I don't know. Maybe you're just not powerful.
Yeah, you got me there, man.
These millennials, Danny, they don't get it.
I know. They just don't understand what outdoor recess was like for us.
Yeah, I'm too
Taylor,
busy. Yeah?
If you had the choice between reading Nemesis or having a single day RTT where you played against nothing but AdMech all day, which would you prefer to do?
God, am I better than the people playing AdMech?
Doesn't matter at this point.
No. If I get to be better than them, fine. I'll do the RTT, because let me tell you, man, Nemesis takes longer than an RTT, and it really it sucks. It's not fun. I would prefer to not. I would simply prefer to not.
Another one I skipped over.
Times.
Dude, you tried 4 times?
I've never
tried to read that book 4 times. I could never get past the 8th chapter.
It is sitting in my e-reader, my Kindle e-reader that I bought in 2011.
How? What's that?
You are a bad person.
How? Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
You're tougher than those 7-year-olds that stood outside in the freezing temperatures for 20
Well, I didn't
hours.
say I read it. I'm saying it's sitting in my Kindle that I haven't used in years, and it's just there.
It's
Oh, I'm gonna
mere
read it.
presence, even digitally, will corrupt you. So like you're like Frodo with the ring right now. Like you got to hurl it into the fire at some point.
And
Well,
like,
be my go.
thirdly, can we like it's great to diss on Nemesis. Everyone knows that's a shitty book, but it's not as bad as The Furious Abyss.
Agree. Yeah, agree.
That's like one of the worst books I've ever read in my life.
And Chad agrees with you.
I have not finished even. I've not even got like a third through for Furious Abyss. I can't do it.
I finished that.
Disgusting.
And just to jump on in here, Tyler, thank you for staying up till like 3 a.m. bleeping out all of our F-bombs that we're throwing out here from all corners. We really appreciate you for that.
Like Furious Abyss.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, make sure to bleep that for sure.
So another one Chad points out, though, I skipped over so profusely, is First Heretic, which is a phenomenal heresy book.
Yeah, I was going to say,
is
First Heretic?
And First Heretic. First
Heretic is actually part of my now second favorite arc in the heresy. It's the first Heretic, Betrayer, and then No Fear. I feel is like one of the strongest sections of the heresy in general at all. It's the start of so First Heretic is mostly the word bearers. There's some Ultramarines in there, but the second one is we're not talking about that one right now. So we're at Monarchia. Everything's going great. We worship the Emperor real big. We think he's the coolest. We think Lorgar is the coolest. And the Ultramarines are here now. Oh god, we're dying. Why? Oh no, I'm dying. The Ultramarines did give them a chance to leave, but I mean, thermonuclear fire only is merciful to such a degree. So the main human character gets her eyes burned out, which, she looked, you looked at the nuclear explosion. What do you want? But
no
Monarchia,
eyes, obviously.
Exactly. Monarchia is destroyed because Lorgar was taking too long. I know that the Emperor says that worship thing is dumb. It's not the good. I'm not a god. Whatever. It's not really about that. It's because they're taking too goddamn long. So he has I don't know why he doesn't just have the Legio Custodes do this, but he has the Ultramarines censor the homies, the word bearers, and understandably, they're really not happy about that one. They're really not having a good time. Their most favorite thing in the world was, bombed from orbit into dust. So that's pretty cool. They pick up, the aforementioned blind lady, and then they go to Cadia. I don't know if it's called Cadia at that point, but it is Cadia. They also have 5 completely incompetent Custodi fronts with them at that time. Custodians hadn't had their lore rewrite, so they weren't actual gods at that point. They were mostly just bigger Marines. So they're chumps, is what I'm saying.
Well, they get tricked.
They do.
And they probably shouldn't have been able to be tricked like they are.
There's only so much trickery I can believe for literally 50 years. Because this book does take place, it starts 50 years before the start of the actual heresy, and the Custodians are with them up until a point, right? Up until they die, they get murdered.
Yeah, I was going to say basically the end of the book.
Right. So I only really buy the getting tricked thing for so long. It's like it's actual years. Like at one point in the book, it's revealed that the way that they're blocking their messages is they're taping astropaths to the engine and horribly torturing them with demons psychically, So, I mean, if no one's responded, and I think they say they're doctoring their messages that come back, but I don't know. It's fine. It's not a big deal. Anyway, we go to Cadia and we sacrifice a custodian on a big spike. We put the custodian on the spike. And the other custodians are like, why? How did he get there? And Lorgar's like, nah, they did it.
Don't worry about it.
Over there. Those regular humans over there did it. It's fine.
These regular humans grabbed this 9-foot-tall superhuman golden god, and impaled him on this spear 10 feet off the ground.
Don't examine his body, by the way. Don't look at his obvious bolter wounds, please. Just don't look at those. They have Argal Tall tell him that, and Argal Tall is the main viewpoint character of this book. And he's the only word bearer the Custodians trust, I guess. He's big friends with, I believe the commander's name is Quillon, but I feel like that's wrong. It's something like that. Apollyon. It might be Apollyon, but I know that's Veldor's spear. I don't know. So we put the big custodian on the big spike, and he's like, and then one of the ladies over there becomes a demon princess, I suppose. And she's like, I will show you the way to the heart of the gods. And so she takes Argotol and his bestest friends into the Eye of Terror, because Katie is right there, Lamau.
Yep.
And then she's like, look at this. Look at all this stuff is all in the past. Look at all the past stuff. And she shows him a vision of first she shows him like, here's what happens if you don't follow the gods, and it's the Eldar all dying to Slanesh, like Lamau, that was Slanesh's fault, I don't know, whatever.
Yep.
And then she takes him to the basically the point where the Primarchs are scattered, and we have more context on that now. It's objectively not Argotol doing it; he's just experiencing a vision, but him making the choice to do it in the vision was integral to him getting possessed or whatever. So anyway, it's not him doing it. Like the Chaos Gods didn't actually teleport him into the past, into that room, but it's necessary. It's symbolic, the warp. So that happens. He sees the Primus get scattered. He and all his bestest friends get possessed. They're now the Gal Vorback, which are T5, 2 wounds. They got rending.
There were 2
really
wounds
cool.
before 2 wounds was cool.
They were, yeah. And they can still take guns, like unlike regular possessed, and they can take a power fist. Anyway, they're really cool. They're the first possessed Marines, and they're super strong. They're incredibly powerful, and Argotol is the most powerful of them all because he's the leader man.
And his model, which just came out, looks so freaking cool.
It's awesome.
It's such an awesome model.
My only weirdness with it is like the serrated sun thing is like still stapled to his chest, which is fine. I just think it's kind of funny. Anyway, yeah.
Gotta represent your gang. Gotta show the colors.
I suppose, but like, I don't know. It could like move over here. It could, whatever. So he talks to Lorgar and like, wow, and Lorgar's like, this is the coolest thing ever. You saw what? There's what inside of you right now? Oh my god!
Give me some of that.
Yeah. So then he starts worshiping chaos. Yeah, for fun. He starts worshiping chaos. They all fall to the chaos. They're chaos boys now. I don't remember the middle of the book. I might have just described it, but really I have no idea. But at the end of the book, the Custodes they discover the plot. They're like, "Oh, you guys have been chaos for like 10 years now, and you had no idea? Oh, that's embarrassing."
Cringe.
Extremely
Super
not based.
cringe.
Very. So the Custodes are doing a bunch of Custode stuff, and they get away, but then they get shot down. And then people are always like, "Oh, the Valbor could just beat the crap out of the Custodes. They have no chance." In the fight where the Gal Vorback kill the Custodes, there's 3 Custodes and 11 Gal Vorback. So I mean, come on, they're fine. The Custodes are going to die there. Argotol actually just bites off his best friend's head, which is cool.
Amazing.
But the best part of the book happens there as well, like the single best part of the book. And so there's this new custodian. He's only like 50 years old, and he's taken a vow of silence until he does something cool, essentially. At the very end of the book, it's him left, and he he breaks his vow of silence to say, "I've always hated you." Character. I haven't talked about Zaffin, but I've always hated you, Zaffin. He hurls his spear at him and takes him right in the chest and kills him. He also then immediately dies, but I mean, it was cool. It was really cool.
Glad he broke his vow of silence for that like one thing that made literally no difference to the battle.
It was really baller. I don't know.
I bet the entire time he was like, "We shouldn't trust these word bearer people, but I'm going to keep my vow of silence this whole time." He was like the one guy who was wise to it.
He's just spoken up, man.
Custodians are hyper intelligent, John. So of course he thought that.
Hyper. No Fear is the next one that stands out as kind of like a seminal like classic in the Horus Heresy.
Really?
Like a range.
Over Betrayer?
Right?
I thought, oh man. Yeah, okay. If No Fear is next, then cool. So No Fear is a follow-up to the book we just talked about.
Betrayer is next, Danny.
Betrayer is next.
After No Fear.
Does Betrayer happen? Does Betrayer come out after?
It does. It does.
Yeah.
Okay. Fair. So, but No No Fear is also really good. Like a
I'll
big
have you
recommend.
all know, I have the Wikipedia open with the release order
Oh,
right here, alphabetical, as
oh
I
yeah,
said.
Yeah, you know
Chet's not a
what,
fan
Taylor?
of this book.
yeah.
I don't like this book very much.
Oh,
Like
really?
it's not my favorite. I don't know. Like Unremembered like No Fear is like so much worse than Unremembered Empire.
True. I like No No Fear for basically the first half. I think the
Yeah.
invasion,
Okay.
right? I
I
think
agree
the
with that.
invasion, yeah, the invasion part and like the unveiling of the invasion and like the space battle part, I think are all really great. After that, I kind of fall asleep, but the first half of the book is just really great.
Okay.
Yeah, it details the word bearer invasion of Calth, one of the most important worlds to Ultramar. And they do the big ruin storm thing, and they cut off half the galaxy, and standard stuff. Um, but yeah, that I don't really have anything much to say about that one, other than like the first half is quality, and I would recommend that, especially like the description of what's happening to all the void ships, especially the ones that are being
Yes.
invaded by demons, is
Yeah.
really just very good. Big, large, good.
I do like the scene where Gulliman is jumping around in space, the one from the art, punching the
Right.
heads off
Yep.
of word bearers in space.
Yeah. And they're like, man, you don't have a helmet. How can you do this? Please stop. And he's like, man, I don't care.
For
So that's
podcast
quite cool.
listeners, Taylor punched the air and it made that
Yep.
sound. It was so
I
good.
hit my hand.
I have
But
no
you're
yeah, I don't know how
ruining
he
the
did it.
oh god, the appeal.
Yeah.
God, ruining
Oh
it.
no, you're right. I did the mantis shrimp thing where I clacked my hand so hard I created a sun.
Perfect.
Yeah, okay.
So moving forward, as Danny, you were saying here, the next one standing
Cavitation
out here
bubble.
is Betrayer.
Yeah.
Betrayer,
Oh man,
Betrayer,
what a
good.
book. It might be my favorite heresy novel. I don't know though. That's a tall order. There's some really good ones. It's really good though. Man, it's awesome. It's about mostly about the world eaters, but also features heavily the word bearers and the ultramarines, of course, as
Right.
they do this invasion of the 500 worlds.
Yep. It mostly centers on one world for a while. I know it's not Atramentar brain. Like I know that's wrong. Armatura, got it. Oh, I'm so smart.
Thank you for the censorship.
Yeah, no problem. So it mostly takes place there. But yeah, it's about the word bearers and the world eaters coming together, doing a big shadow crusade and making Gully Boy's life hard.
Yep.
It is really great. It's one of my favorite heresy books. It's not my favorite anymore, I don't think. But it used to be for a long time. Honestly, up until like the Siege stuff started, I thought it was the best heresy book. So I don't really
Karn
want
is great, right?
Karn.
Like,
Yeah, Karn is awesome.
He's the main character. He's the titular character,
right?
And he's awesome in that book.
Argotol and Karn have a buddy cop thing going on, which is really fun to watch, especially from a chaos perspective, because we don't really get that kind of stuff. So them just like being bros is rad.
It was cool.
Yeah.
Well, we do, Taylor. It's in the Black Legion novels.
I will fight you. He has no meaningful relationships with any of his brothers. It's so lame. I don't want to talk about it right now. I don't want to talk about it.
So, you know what you do want to talk about though is Scars. The first book to really focus on the White Scars chapter.
Obvious. God, I am wrong. Scars is my favorite heresy book after Betrayer. I love Scars. Scars is the book that kind of like made people think about White Scars at all. Really, they didn't really have much. They didn't really have much before that. And Chris Wright, I'm actually reading Warhawk right now, and Chris Wright wrote that one as well, and is just nailing it. Chris Wright writes all the White Scar stuff, and it's so good. Immense recommend. It's about basically Jagadai Khan and the White Scars figuring out there's a heresy at all, and what to do about that, what to think about that. They own the Alpha Legion, which I'm always a fan of, as the worst traitor legion. No, they did. I saw it. I was there.
Or was it part of their plan?
Or did they?
No, I saw it. I was there. They did a big spear formation, and the Alpha Legion was like, "Oh God, what's happening?"
So fast.
Or they like,
so
as
fast.
we plan to be murdered so quickly.
Just as we planned to lose like half our blockade. Yes.
And like in that novel, the Death Guard, I think, make a really excellent foil to the White Scars. They're like diametrically opposed fighting styles, which is really interesting.
Right. I think like you said, they are a really cool foil. They're really good like opposing chapter or legion, I guess, whatever. They don't show up a ton in that book. It's mostly in the end where
I guess
Juggernaut
it is.
and
I was going to say, I guess you're right. I mean, between that and the thing on Prospero, that was in that book too, right?
yes, that was when Juggernaut and Mortarion have their big fight, which is really good. I think yeah.
For podcast listeners, Taylor's rubbing his hands together frantically to show how White Scars and Death Guard fight.
John, you're not describing it correctly. He's creating a shadow scene, like
yeah,
and I can see the Primarchs fighting on the screen. It's incredible.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
Listeners, if you are not joining us at 10 o'clock Eastern every Tuesday night to see such wonderful shadow puppetry, are you even living? Moving on here. And again, chat, let me know if I'm jumping any of the important ones here, but I don't think there are. Is anything exciting happening in Pharos apart from bringing in Tyranids to lose horribly in the 40K setting?
Yeah, no, I like the Iron Warriors in that book. I like that guy. I think he's cool. But other than that, not really. He's old. He got shot by an aging beam, and that's fun. But other than that,
by the Harud, right?
Yeah, the Harud.
Oh, sorry. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. And then they shoot Perturabo, and he's just walking through it like, man, you think I'd age, big nerd?
LOL.
I'm already a boomer. It doesn't matter. And again, but I think what most people remember from Pharos is just like the one throwaway paragraph at the end, where it's like, we did this one thing, and like someone said dinner time, and Tyranids came.
I think that's incredibly lame. I would prefer that the Tyranids, I would prefer we know nearly nothing about them, where they came from, their origins, what they're attracted to at all, really. So I think that kind of sucks, and I just delete it from my brain. Like, it doesn't exist for me at all.
Totally fair. Praetorian of Dorn.
Praetorian of Dorn is really good.
It's like shoring up the Terran defenses. We see our first Primarch death, or did we?
We did. No, we did. Second,
or
but yeah.
Did we?
We did. Portarian.
No, Portarian. You got it.
Praetorian got there. Of Dorn, I think, is the Alpha Legion's best novel.
Mortarion of Dorn, yeah.
Yeah, it's fine. I think it's their best novel. I am biased. I hate the Alpha Legion. I think they suck. So
all right,
just flatly, yeah. I read Alfarius' Primarch novel recently, and the disdain only grows, man. I got nothing. But yeah, so turns out that Alfarius has been living on Terra for 15 years or whatever. Who cares? They do a big infiltration. They infiltrate Terra 15 years ago, and then they leave. They leave to go to Pluto for fun, to die, because you guys know Dorn, the Wall, the living stoic man.
No, he's a fictional character. I can't possibly know.
No.
Personally, I do know him.
I swear to God.
Also, chat, thank you for pointing out there was also a Primarch who lost his head earlier in the Heresy.
No, he's fine.
Much earlier.
No, he's fine. You won't besmirch his beautiful name.
Yeah, he's totally fine. He's gonna show up as the headless Primarch of the Legion of the Damned. Just you wait. Anyway,
it's gonna be awesome.
Oh, it's gonna be so bad.
He's gonna ride a big bike like Ghost Rider. It's gonna be
cool. Dude, it's gonna be
so bad. No,
lots of fire.
Don't you wish that evil on me, Ricky Bobby? Master of Mankind.
I'm not wishing anything. It's objectively correct.
Master of Mankind is the first story that objectively shows the majority of the viewpoints of the Emperor and people around the Emperor. Talk to us about Master of Mankind.
Master of Mankind is pretty cool. I really like the Sisters of Silence. I think they're probably the coolest faction in 40k. So seeing a lot of them is really good. I like that a lot. But it's about Dreknian, who is Abaddam's sword for those. Yeah. But this is when he wasn't a sword. He was just a big demon man.
He was just murder.
Yeah, he was the concept of murder itself, which is pretty metal, frankly.
Dude.
It's not clear if he's aligned to any one god. I don't think he is personally.
Yeah, I agree.
He's just like he's allied to chaos, but instead of being like a chaos thing, he's fundamental. He's like a small chaos god, which I think is rad.
Chaos Duke.
Yeah. Each Archibald Chaos. Duke, I don't know.
Earl of Chaos.
So this is about the Secret War, and this book is hey guys, what's the Custodes doing the entire heresy? It was this. They were fighting demons, and they all died, all of them. All of them down to... They lost 9 out of 10 custodians, which is not a good murder rate for sure. So
I love when like custodians wake up, they're like, here are your 2 options. You can go fight an eternal war in the webway and die. Like, I don't want to do that. What's my other option? Be fooled by word bearers like thousands of miles away and die.
I'm
like, damn, these are both great options.
I'll take the Secret War. That stuff is lame. Oh my god.
Only 5 people chose the other one.
Yeah, lame option. So, but yeah, so 9 out of 10 of them die, which is not a good KD ratio. But they eventually have to pull out. Like Titans are there. The World Eaters got in there somehow. I don't know. Dracnayan possesses a whole Titan at one point. That's cool. And then, so they're all losing, they're all dying, and then the Emperor, like, he just gets off his throne, he's like, I'm here, and I'm gold, and he does a big psychic flame, and then Ferrus Manus is there, and that's why Ferrus Manus is going to be the Legion of the Damned guy. It's because he was right there, I saw him, he was right there.
And he was on fire.
Exactly. And they do a big cleanse of the webway. Yeah. And then Dracnayan is also there, and he's like, I'm the end of empires, that's what my name means. And he stabs the Emperor a bunch of times with himself. And then the Emperor grabs him and pulls him out of himself, and then he's the sword Dracnayan, and then he stabs him into the main custody character, whose name is Ra. And he's like, "Hey Ra, just leave. I need you to go that way and just not stop. Just do a big run." And so Ra does that.
Imagine if your boss stabbed you and then was like, "Get up."
Listen, I'm going to put the very concept of murder in your abdomen, and I'm going to need you to take off. You're going to need to take the rest of the day off. I really don't think you're thinking about the rest of the team if you're not doing this.
Can you run this over for me?
Hey, that's cool.
Can I say something about this book? Like, there's this scene where Dracnayan is hunting down the like the Cybernetica clade, like in the webway. And it is so rad to like see this, like, just the manifestation of murder, like secretly like kind of creep up on all these AdMech things to like just totally take them apart. It was so awesome.
I really like the scene where he's possessed the Archmagos, and he's got her big beam cannon, and he's shooting it at the spaces where he can't see anything, because that's where the Sisters of Silence would be.
Oh, nice.
That's like how he gets around their null aura. I thought that was cool. I also thought it was cool with the scene where the AdMech just decide to leave. They're like, "We're out, peace out." There's a bunch of scenes of Skitarii going through the webway and like them all horribly dying or just ending up in a craft world, which I thought was cool. Like they just took the
Elfway people.
Yeah, they just took a left turn and oh man, we're on. This is weird. That's a
pizza,
and that's a big wraith man. That's strong.
Then the very last book of the Horus Heresy series before it transitions to Siege of Terra was The Buried Dagger.
Oh
yeah, Buried Dagger is awesome.
Yeah, that's a great book.
My personal favorite.
That's the book where we see Mortarion's fall. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Mortarion's fall and Typhus's fall. And the fall of the Death Guard into what we know them as today as the Plague Marines. It gives a lot of backstory. A lot of it is on Barbarous. Like what Mortarion was doing, what the Death Guard were doing, like his struggle to get to his father. That's a quality book. That book is awesome. I especially like the part at the end where Typhus becomes Typhus. Like he takes the Destroyer Plague into himself. Mortarion is like, yeah, I've had enough. And he puts his whole scythe into Typhus's chest. And Typhus just kind of looks at it and he's like, yeah, man, that's not going to be good enough this time. And he just pulls it out. And then Mortarion sees God, so that's cool.
It's a real religious experience.
Yeah.
Those are all of the books in the Siege of Terra.
Yeah, true.
I was going to say the one thing that I was going to quickly chat. We're heading to time here. I wanted to touch on one thing that chat's bringing up as another great book would be Vulcan Lives. TayLore,
No.
Danny, give your thoughts real quick on Vulcan Lives.
No, yeah, absolutely. Okay, so the Salamanders aren't in the Heresy. I don't know why the writers decided to make this choice, but they're not written about at all. There are no books that mention the Salamanders at all in the Heresy. It's really weird.
Dude, I'm telling you, it's because Nick Kime runs Black Library.
I don't know. There's one good scene for Vulcan. There's one, and it's not the hammer scene. The hammer scene is fine. It's the scene where Vulcan has to hold up the blocks that are about to crush all the civilians, and like he can't win that fight. He can't succeed here, but he tries as hard as he can regardless. I think that scene is really cool. That's literally the only good thing I have to say about any Salamander book at all in the Heresy. It's over at that point. It's done.
TayLore famously hates Salamander books. We've been over this many times.
Does not enjoy lizards. Terrarium's not his thing whatsoever.
I think lizards are sick as hell, frankly, sir.
Well, I think only edgelords have pet reptiles, so
that's fair. That's real fair. And if you think we're talking about you, then you are right. TayLore.
Yeah, what's up?
You did it. Like, if anyone leaves here more confused about the Horus Heresy than they came, then they did it wrong. And they need to download and listen to this podcast on Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, Spotify, everywhere else, all of the different mediums. In order to get, I see those eye rolling, Danny. You know what I'm going for here. I appreciate you.
No, I know exactly. I know exactly what you're going for. It was a flawless transition. I'm really
flawless transition as always. We are all caught up in the Horus Heresy now, and we can't wait for the Lore Bros to be back at 100% strength as opposed to the 99% strength that we're at right now, to talk about the Siege of Terra and the first book, which I'm very excited about, which focuses on Uranus a lot.
TayLore, don't smile. He said the exact same thing about Tanner. So, like,
awesome.
This just is my little secret way to prove that no one listens or watches to this. So that's fine. It works. Got him. Perfect. Well, guys, that has been our show. TayLore, thank you so much for coming on here. Danny, thank you for keeping me honest and not letting me forget about Betrayer and several other great books.
Oh, sorry. I just get excited.
Real quick before we go, TayLore, your top 2 heresy books. Danny, your top 2 heresy books, starting with TayLore.
For me, it's Saturnine and Scars. Like, that's not hard at all.
Heresy. We're going to Siege of Terra is going to be a different one.
Oh, I cry. That's got to be Scars and Betrayer then. Yeah.
Scars and Betrayer, Danny?
Scars and Betrayer.
Oh man, TayLore's going to hate me. It's Betrayer and Prince of Crows.
Okay. I'm reading that book right now, and he's just the Joker in space. It's not cool. It's not exciting. It's not fun to read. He's just like INTJ smiling at people all the time. He's like, I'm gonna kill you. You're talking to me bad, old man. I'll cut your skin off. It sucks.
And if you guys needed a better sell to go buy Prince of Crows from Black Library, TayLore gave you an amazing one of just being a Joker Space Marine. I mean, half of you want to be that anyway. That's okay. And now you can live it through this book. Next week on Grim After Dark, we are super excited, Danny, to welcome Frontline Gaming Overlord, and I guess technically our boss, Reese Robbins, is going to come on. He is back to the network after solely handling signals from the Frontline for years, to kind of talk about his hobby, all the events that Frontline is going to be running. And we'll be going into Frontline Gaming Community this week to give you guys a chance to ask your questions, free and some edited, directly to Reese. So he will be on next Tuesday night. But as for tonight, you guys know all about the Horus Heresy now. You know all about TayLore. You know all about Danny. And we want to thank everyone who tuned in for the live show, everyone who's listening to us wherever good podcasts are found. And if you want to see us with Reese, we will see you next Tuesday.
Bye.